Most people think love is enough until they experience what it feels like to be emotionally unseen. A woman can be complimented, desired, protected, and deeply loved, yet still go to bed feeling completely alone. Because emotional safety isn't built through expensive dates or dramatic declarations of love. It's built in the small moments, in the moments where someone notices what isn't being said, the sigh she didn't realize she let out, the smile that never quite reached her eyes, the pause before she answered, "I'm fine." Real intimacy begins when someone learns to read your inner world, not just your words. And once you understand this, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Imagine a woman named Emma. She walks through the front door after work, drops her bag by the couch, and quietly says, "Today was okay." Most people hear that sentence and continue talking about dinner, work, or tomorrow's plans. But someone who's emotionally present notices something else. She didn't greet him with the same energy she usually does. She hasn't touched her food. Her shoulders are tense. She's answering with one-word responses. Instead of assuming everything is fine because she said it was, he simply puts his phone away and asks, "You seem like you're carrying something today. Want to talk about it?" No pressure, no interrogation, no trying to solve anything, just an invitation. She doesn't answer immediately. Instead, she exhales because someone finally noticed. And sometimes that's all a person needs, to know they don't have to convince someone they're struggling. Emotional safety starts with attention. Not advice, not solutions, attention. Now imagine another couple. They've just had an argument, nothing explosive, just one of those disagreements every relationship eventually faces. They apologize, they hug. Technically, the conflict is over, but she becomes unusually quiet for the rest of the evening. Many people see silence as rejection. They think, "I already apologized. What else do you want from me? Why can't we just move on?" But emotionally mature people understand something important. Resolution doesn't erase emotion. Sometimes the mind forgives before the heart catches up. Instead of demanding conversation, he simply stays close. He makes tea, sits beside her, lets the silence exist without trying to control it. An hour later, she whispers, "Thank you for giving me time." That's the difference. He didn't make her healing follow his timeline. He respected hers. And that creates trust. Because emotional safety isn't just about what you say. It's about what you allow another person to feel without making them guilty for it. Here's another example. Many women hear compliments every day. "You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You look amazing." Those words are kind, but over time they can become predictable. Imagine Sarah. Everyone compliments her appearance, but almost nobody notices the effort she puts into becoming who she is. She spends months studying for a promotion, works late nights, pushes herself through exhaustion. One evening, her partner says, "I've been thinking about how disciplined you've become this year. Watching you refuse to quit has been inspiring." She freezes, because for the first time, someone complimented something she fought to build, not something she was simply born with. Beauty gets attention. Character gets remembered. When someone notices your discipline, your courage, your kindness, your patience, your resilience, you don't just feel admired, you feel understood. And that's infinitely more meaningful. Now think about something even deeper. Sometimes people don't know why they're upset, not because they're hiding it, because they genuinely haven't figured it out yet. Imagine Mia. Every time her partner makes plans without asking her first, she becomes distant. She doesn't yell, she doesn't argue, she just quietly withdraws. From the outside, it seems irrational. It's only dinner. It's only a weekend trip. It's not a big deal. But instead of dismissing her reaction, he stays curious. Over several conversations, he gently asks, "I've noticed this keeps bothering you. I'm trying to understand. What does it make you feel?" Eventually, she realizes something she never connected before. Growing up, decisions were always made without her. She rarely had a voice. Being left out now doesn't just feel inconvenient, it makes her feel invisible. The emotion wasn't really about the plans. It was about an old wound those plans accidentally touched. And because he stayed patient instead of defensive, she discovered something about herself she didn't even have words for before. That's what healthy relationships often look like. Not two people who never misunderstand each other, but two people willing to stay curious long enough to understand. Curiosity is one of the greatest forms of love because curiosity says, I know there's more to you than what I see today. Most relationship problems aren't caused by a lack of love. They're caused by a lack of understanding. People feel lonely next to someone who genuinely loves them because they don't feel emotionally known. They feel like their thoughts are interrupted. Their feelings are minimized. Their silence is misinterpreted. Their fears are brushed aside. Eventually, they stop sharing altogether, not because they don't care, because they no longer believe they'll be understood. And that's how emotional distance quietly begins, not with one huge mistake, but with hundreds of tiny moments where someone felt unseen. The strongest relationships aren't built by perfect people. They're built by attentive people, people who notice changes in tone, who remember little details from conversations months ago, who ask follow-up questions, who don't rush vulnerability, who don't treat emotions like problems that need immediate fixing. Presence is becoming rare. Everyone is listening while preparing their response. Very few people are listening to understand. But when someone experiences that kind of presence, they remember it forever because it makes them feel safe, safe enough to be honest, safe enough to be imperfect, safe enough to admit they're scared, safe enough to remove the mask they wear everywhere else. And that's where real intimacy begins. Not in candlelit dinners, not in expensive gifts, not in romantic vacations. Those things are wonderful, but they don't replace emotional presence. A bouquet of flowers lasts a few days. Feeling deeply understood can last a lifetime. So the next time someone you love says, I'm okay, pause, look at their eyes, listen to their voice, notice what changed. Ask one more question. And if they aren't ready to answer, stay anyway. Sometimes the greatest act of love isn't saying the perfect thing. It's creating enough safety for someone to eventually find the words themselves. Because people rarely remember every gift they received, but they'll always remember the person who made them feel truly seen. If this message resonated with you, comment understood. Save this video for later and share it with someone who deserves to feel seen.